Hello and welcome back to Women's Football Talk, the YouTube channel that brings you all the latest news and stories from around the world of women's football. Now before we get into today's video, make sure you smash that subscribe button and turn on the post notification bell so you never miss a video of ours when we upload it, and that you're following us on Twitter and Instagram for all the latest news and stories as and when it happens. So in today's video we'll be looking at 5 players who could potentially move away from their clubs this January. So this is a list that I've compiled based on players who I think aren't getting enough game time at their respective clubs and could do with a move elsewhere. So let's get right into it. First up we have Vilde Risa of Manchester United. Now she came out in November at the last international break of 2022 speaking to a local media over in Norway, saying that she has considered moving away from Manchester United due to the lack of game time. Now, since joining Man United back in 2021, Vilde Risa has made just the 21 league appearances for the Red Devils. Now, she has a contract expiring in this summer, but the club do have an option for a further year. However, for me, I think it's would be sensible that they don't take that option up due to the lack of game time she's been playing. I mean, the last time we saw her play was in the County Cup when Man United played Everton, and she scored 2 goals and was absolutely fantastic. So it shows that she has the capability of being a great midfielder, but unfortunately she hasn't been able to show it on a regular basis under Mark Skinner. Now for me, I don't know why he hasn't really rotated her in much of the options. Yes, I know you've got the likes of Katie Zellem, Ella Toone, Hayley Ladd as well, that playing like that midfield role of like central midfield or attacking midfielder. But I do think Vilde Risa is a very good player and is definitely one that should be playing more regularly, and I think a lot of Man United fans could understand if Vilde Risa was to leave the club because of not getting game time this season and since joining the club on a whole back in 2021. So for me, Vilde Risa is the first player who I think could potentially leave their club. Another Manchester United player, this time I only think it possibly be a loan deal, and that is Grace Clinton. Now Clinton joined Man United in the summer but has yet to feature for the club. The 19-year-old made that big move from Everton to Manchester United, and it excited a lot of fans who have seen her play at Everton or the younger academy years and the younger England sides as well. She's a really good attacking midfielder and can offer a lot of options. Again, she's yet to make an appearance for Mark Skinner's side this season in any competition. In fact, she's played more times for the England youth teams than she has played for Manchester United, which is absolutely shocking to see that someone of that talent is being just weighted and hoarded away realistically in the club, because Manchester United know how to loan out players over the last couple of seasons. I mean, this season they've got Emily Ramsey out on loan, Carrie Jones, both in WSL clubs, and then look down in the Championship, they've got Niamh Murphy, Chloe Williams and Tara Bourne out on loan as well. So it's not like they're afraid of using their loan market in England. And then obviously if you look elsewhere over in Germany, they've got Ivana Ferreira Fuso out on loan at Bayer Leverkusen, so they're not afraid of using their loan market. So I think that's why we could see Grace Clinton potentially go out on loan to showcase her talents and say, like, I actually deserve to be playing more regular football at the minute than I am. So is one I think, again, a lot of fans will be happily just if she gets her game time elsewhere just for the remainder of this season before coming back and being a fully fledged member of the squad next year. Next up we have Aniek Nouwen at Chelsea. Now she joined in the summer of 2021 for the head of the 21-22 season. Now initially she wasn't getting selected from when she joined from PSV. Emma Hayes believing that she couldn't cope with the step up from the Eredivisie to the WSL just yet, but then when it turned into 2022 you saw Nouwen become a prominent member of the Chelsea team, helping them win the FA Cup and WSL title, and she saw her play regular games, not obviously like a constant like Millie Bright or Magdalena Eriksson, but she was more prominent in the second half of last season than she was in the first half. However, this season She's played just the 3 times for them in the league, but that is mainly down to the arrival of Canadian international Khadijah Buchanan, as well as French international Eve Peresse. So you've seen Nouwen's minutes go right down again, and with Nouwen being one of the main defenders in the national team of the Netherlands, and obviously we're now in a World Cup year, you'd expect her to be wanting to play regular football and get minutes elsewhere, whether it be a loan or a permanent transfer, just so that when it comes to the World Cup she's not really lacking like that match sharpness. Yes, we may be 7-8 months away from it, but it is still key to be playing regular time so that when the World Cup comes around you're not left limbering and trying to get up to the pace that everyone else is up, or potentially even missing out on the World Cup squad. So I think whilst Emma Hayes may like her depth, and she's got good depth in that defence, I think Nouwen, trying to be a key centre back for the Netherlands, has to move on elsewhere to get regular minutes and be playing football ahead of this World Cup. And my final players are Leonie Maier of Everton. So Maier's minutes at Everton this season have been absolutely squashed under Brian Sorensen. The 30-year-old has just played 41 minutes across 5 WSL games this season, where last season and a whole she missed just the 5 games in the WSL. Maier has a contract until June of this year, so for me, I think it could be one where you see her either move elsewhere in the WSL or back to her native Germany. But yeah, for some reason, Leonie Maier just doesn't seem to be fitting under the Brian Sorensen mould of how Everton want to play. And obviously, Everton do be tending to go with a younger lineup this season in their games, so that's why we haven't seen the likes of Maier play regularly. Because obviously they're back 4 or 5. There's been like Lucy Graham, Megan Finnegan, Ricky Sekova, Gabby George, and Elise Stanovic as well. So it is going to be hard for Maier to get regular minutes on a regular basis. So again, age, and with 6 months left on a contract, I think for me it makes more sense for Leonie Maier to look for a move elsewhere. And finally, it's Mana Iwabuchi of Arsenal. The Japanese international has been very limited to her sub appearances, just the 3 so far in the WSL. She's made a few Champions League appearances as well along the way this season, but I think her game time has really been limited due to how well Kim Little and Leah Volti regularly do, and then obviously this season you've seen the emergence of Frida Marnham and how well she's doing, and then you've also got Jordan Nobbs. So in that central midfield role, which we see Mana Iwabuchi play a lot rather than out wide or as like a number 9 or 10 player, game time really has been limited. So I think that's why a move away from Arsenal could potentially be on the cards. Yes, they've had 2 big injuries to Vivian Miedemar and obviously Beth Mead, both tearing their ACLs. But for me, I do see Iwabuchi's game time still being quite limited, and it wouldn't surprise me if the 29-year-old was to move elsewhere, because it just hasn't really gone well for her since joining from Aston Villa. So for me, a move away from Arsenal for Iwabuchi would seem sensible. Again, where she goes, I'm not too sure, and as well, we don't know how long her contract length was when she initially joined, as it wasn't announced, as is generally the case in women's football. So that is going to be very interesting to see. But those are my 5 players who I think could leave their respective clubs in this January transfer window. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and players who you think could move elsewhere in the WSL or from other leagues. And like I said at the start, make sure you're subscribed to the channel so you never miss a video of ours, and that you are following us on Instagram and Twitter for all the latest news and stories as and when it happens. And until next time, we'll see you soon.